UFC Fight Night Taira versus Park prediction show, and it starts right now on Ageless Talk Sports. Hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. Let's take a look at the new segment that we're doing here, okay, shall we? It is Who You Got. Who You Got. By the way, they are in Las Vegas. We're back in the country, in America, and they're at UFC Apex the next couple weeks until UFC 319. Who You Got. Robert Whittaker versus Ryan Denier. We didn't have any comments on this show, but we did, or for last week, but we did get 5 votes. And 80% of you voted for Robert Whittaker, as did I. I honestly thought Whittaker would be able to withstand his takedown defense, which he pretty much did. But I thought he'd be able to do a little bit more damage and finish the fight probably in the 3rd round or 4th round. But props to DeRitter, because he was putting pressure on Whittaker. A lot of pressure. The only couple of knee body shots that he did to Whittaker really hurt him pretty bad. It didn't. Robert's a UFC vet. He's a savvy vet. He didn't act like it hurt him at all. But you can tell later in the rounds, in the 4th and 5th, it went down. It was like back and forth, back and forth. I think personally Robert Whittaker won the fight, but it didn't matter either way. It was a 50-50 to me. It could have been a draw. It could have went either way. DeRitter got it. Whittaker couldn't really do anything in the 5th. It all came down to that 5th round, and all DeRitter did was basically just clinch and hold on to him. Whittaker got away a little bit, tried to do some damage, but he was just a little too late, too tired. But 5 votes, 80% Whittaker. Didn't happen in Abu Dhabi. Was a really nice fight card, freaking sweet. But there's your Who You Got segment. So we have some UFC news, and we do this every week. And the Dominic Reyes versus Carlos Ulberg, it headlines for UFC's return to Perth. The #1 contender bout at light heavyweight is booked with Carlos Ulberg clashing with Dominic Reyes. This is going to be in Australia on September 27th. So be looking for that. UFC Fight Card Perth, UFC in Australia, September 27th. So make sure you write that in the calendars, because if I don't write it in the calendar, guess what? It doesn't happen. Now, Ulberg attempts to make it 9 in a row while facing a surging contender, Dominic Reyes. Mind you, Dominic Reyes pretty much beat John Jones in that fight a while back. How many years ago has it been now? But Reyes is surging back to make himself trying to be in contention of a title, and it's nice. I mean, I'm really excited for him. Jones is probably gone. He says retired, and then on the ESPYs, he says he's coming back. I'm tired of him. I don't want to talk about him. But if he can get past Ulberg, we're talking about, Reyes. Reyes might find himself right back in the hunt for another title shot at 205 with the reigning champion Magomed Ankalaev facing Alex Pereira at UFC 320 in August, and that's just coming up probably at the end of the month, because UFC 319 is like August 16th. So be looking for that. Ulberg versus Reyes, Highlines at Perth. Be ready, it's coming quick. July is already over, last day of July. All right, next, taking a look, Ben Askren is back in the news. Ben Askren is back in the hospital. They didn't like the way the last chest tube looked, thought it was infected, put me on some antibiotics, and then did a few x-rays, and hopefully we get this solved fast. So he is my age. He's just probably turned 41, because I thought he was 40, but he turned 41. Had a double lung transplant back in June. Prayers, everybody's thinking about him in the UFC community, as well as everybody outside of the UFC community as well. Double lung transplant, that's pretty sick that he got it. And it's all done. Gets the infection. Way he talks, it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal, but it always is pretty much a big deal when you get an infection right after you get a transplant. So hopefully thoughts and prayers are out there. That's your newest update as of right now. This just happened, the other day. So I haven't heard anything yet. I've been looking up stuff on it online. So hopefully everything is all good and the transplant works and then the infection is gone. So taking a look, next, UFC BJJ. I don't know. I know this is like a big show. This is the first year of it. And if you're a jiu-jitsu guy and you're really good, try to get on the show. But it seems like I haven't watched it, honestly. I haven't watched any of it at all. But I just want to know what your thoughts are taking a look at Reddit, because I'm always on Reddit now all the time. So it's talking about, not sure what the pay is, but they're banking on the exposing on being on the UFC, potentially more instructional sales and demand for their seminars. Your average person won't know what ADCC means, but someone saying they fought in the UFC has a lot of clout. Now, I'm just trying to figure out if any of you watch this. That's basically all I'm asking. Now, it looks pretty cool. The octagon little thing that they have is pretty sick. It's like a little dome thing that goes down into the ground. That's pretty cool. They actually have a fight tonight, by the way. UFC BJJ2, Tackett versus Canudo. That is July 31st tonight at 8 o'clock, and it's going to be live, and check it out on YouTube. So, do you watch UFC BJJ2? Do you going to watch it? That's basically all I'm saying. All right. So now we're going to get into our main card. UFC Fight Night prediction show. And we're going to start with Magny versus Dos Santos. So Dos Santos is a compact, explosive fighter. He's known for his spinning kicks, his heels, his elbows, his knees. The guy is crazy. That are both flashy and brutally effective, despite being 38 and holding a 1-2 record in the last 3 UFC bouts. He remains dangerous, particularly in the stand-up game, and his striking is powerful, his takedown defense is solid, and he maintains a positive strike differential. Now, however, he is getting up there in age, and in a recent performance or catching up to him, he was outclassed by Chitty and a less accomplished striker. So, Neil Magny, while having lost 3 of his last 4 fights, he's faced top-tier oppositions, though. So, he's fought Morales, he's fought Prates, and he's fought Ian Machado Gary. So these are top contenders in the UFC. His lone win came against the rising star Mike Malott, and at 6'3", with a long reach, and he's a little younger at 37, Magny is very durable. His experience with elite fighters and his versatility with grappling and striking make him a live underdog, though. But here, conclusion. Are you ready for this? This is my thoughts. Magny's size, experience, and well-rounded skill set may give him an edge in a fight that could go the distance. The betting line may be underrating his chances, especially if the fight becomes a grind. Give me Neil Magny with the decision. Now, next fight on that card. Carol Rosa versus Nora Cornolle. So taking a look at number 10, Carol Rosa. She's 18-7. Sarah, if you're looking at some highlights there, she loves the leg kicks. Loves the leg kicks. So you gotta be prepared for those leg kicks. She lost to Perez back in January of this year. She beat Kianzad back in August of last year, and she lost to Aldana. So back and forth, teeter-tottering back with wins and losses. Coming out of Brazil, she is a Muay Thai fighter. Not very explosive. As I'm watching the highlights, she's not like all explosive, it doesn't seem like, but she is with the leg kicks for some reason. Now, she has 4 wins by knockout and 2 by submission, arm triangle and arm bar, 1 first-round finish, that's it. She basically goes to a decision to grind you out, and the past 3 fights proves that. But I don't think that this girl, Nora from France, I never pick French people. That's just me, though. Sorry, France, but I don't pick you. Nora's going to get exposed with her stand-up. She's going to get leg kicked out of the wazoo. And I wouldn't be surprised if Rosa finishes it by TKO with leg kicks. All right. Taking a look at Esteban Ribovics. Esteban, how do you say that? How does the Argentinian say that? So there's Elvis Brener versus Esteban Ribovics. The correct pronunciation. That's how you'll say it, like as a Spanish person or whatever. But his name is El Gringo, which is the white dude, but it's the white. I believe that's how you say it. The white guy. 14-2. Taking a look at his previous fights, he lost to there was that Hamza Hakfarst. back in March. This just happened not that long ago. I think I have some of the highlights of that fight as well. And then he beat Zaluber. So by a split decision, which is really, really close back in September. But he's doing pretty good. He's got back-to-back wins before the loss. He was doing really well. And his previous loss was back on March 4th in 2023 against Rozabov. And then he had back-to-back wins coming in 2023 to 2024, and then just got his first loss of the year with Hackforest. So, and that was a split decision. That could have went either way. Who knows? And like I said, he's an Argentinian. He's only 29, young, up-and-comer, ready to go. Turned pro back in 2015. 7 wins by KO, 5 by submission, 3 Kimuras, a key lock, and an inverted triangle. You don't hear about an inverted triangle that much, but he's got one. 7 first-round finishes. Has won 3 of his last 4. He's got wins in 7 seconds, 22 seconds, 27 seconds, and 90 seconds. The guy's freaking ridiculous. And I think he's an explosive. The way he fights, an explosive fighter. He's going to get it done. Elvis has a problem. The Brazilian's going to get eaten up by Ribovics. Now, we're going to go to the lightweight. Still staying in the lightweight ranks. Versus Rebecki at a minus 205 versus Chris Duncan at a plus 180. The Scotland Yard. Coming from Scotland. He's at a plus 180. You want to do the whole show like that? I don't know. I could. But this is the co-main event. This matchup promises high action. This could be possibly the fight of the night, with both fighters bringing violence and pace. Rebecki is a compact, powerful Polish grappler known for his relentless wrestling and physical strength. After a loss to Diego Ferreira, he bounced back impressively against Orobai. Rebecki averages nearly 4 takedowns per round, defends 75% of opponent strikes of his attempts, and carries a strong striking differential as well. So not only can he take you down, he's going to pressure. He is smothering with pressure and top control. And he can overwhelm any opponent, especially those with shaky takedown defense. Now, Chris Duncan, hopefully he has very good defense. We're going to find out about him. A Scotsman with notable striking skills and comparable offensive stats. Enters with the height, reach, and striking edge. But how is his takedown defense? Let's find out. He's dangerous on the feet and needs to keep the fight standing to capitalize. However, his takedown defense is a glaring weakness, and let's take a look at the statistics. He's only at a 37% takedown defense. So this is a perfect fight for Rebecki. This is where your classic grappler versus striker matchup, which could be his underdog against a grinder like Rebecki, or his undoing. So Duncan is a dog at a plus 180, but it's all dependent on how can Chris Duncan start and how can Chris Duncan defend. So keys to this matchup, I'm glad you asked. Duncan's ability to stuff takedowns. If he can, he will win on the feet. If not, Rebecki likely dominates on the ground. Now, is it a total 1.5 rounds on the over with a minus 160? Are you going to take it? Take the over. And it leans towards Rebecki via control with his wrestling. Duncan live if he can keep it standing. So I'm going with Krista. I like the stand-up guys. I like the brawlers. I like the bangers. Give me Chris Duncan. The Scotland Yard. All right. Now we're finally here. We have made it to the main event of the evening. Tatsuro Taira versus Hyun Sung Park. Now, Taira is at a minus 300, while Park is a plus 260. And I know he kind of looks familiar because Park has just been on the scene here. And we'll get to that in a second. This is a short notice main event for both fighters. But Taira enters with the benefit of a full camp, giving him a clear preparation edge. Now, Taira, check out his record. He's 16-1. He's very dynamic, and he's well-rounded. Coming off a loss, though, to an elite contender, Brandon Royval. Now, despite this setback, the experience is seen as valuable for Taira's development. He's a world-class grappler with 7 submission wins. Solid striking. He's got 5 KOs and strong finishing instincts. With more UFC reps and a full camp, Taira enters this fight motivated and more seasoned. Now let's check out Park. He is undefeated at 10-0, 3-0 in the UFC, but he's taken a huge step in competition here. He accepted his fight on short notice and has never faced a ranked or an elite opponent like Taira. While game and skilled, this may be more of a developmental or prove-it opportunity than a favorable matchup. Now, here's the key factors. I'm glad you wanted to know this. Key factors for this fight. Taira has advantages in experience, height, reach, and training camp readiness. Park has heart and momentum, but lacks the resume or proven skills against elite opponents. This is a significant test for both opponents, but especially for Park. This is a total 3.5 rounds on the under at a -130. Does it go under? The stats say, the guys and the bookies and all that stats say it's going to be under 3.5 rounds. It's a 5-rounder. I think Taira gets it. This is going to be leaning towards Taira via submission or ground dominance if Park can't avoid grappling exchanges. So look for Taira to take it down. Park's not going to be able to do it and defend. He might do it a couple times, but look for the submission in the third. Taira via submission. Check it out in the third round. That's how you do things. And that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe. Love you guys. God bless. Tip the waitress.